So I'm up in the beautiful state of Washington. I'm in an office, and I'm here with Becca and Karen. Now, Becca, tell me, what office is this?
This is the Clark County Master Gardener Answer Clinic.
And I'm going to make the assumption that there's a process to become a Master Gardener in Washington, just like Oregon.
Correct. We all go through a 12-week training process
Nice.
on different horticultural practices, disease and pest diagnosis, botany, a variety of topics.
And so this is the Answer Clinic, which means I'm assuming that people can either come here, contact you by phone or email, and get answers.
Correct. People can bring in different problems with their plants, an insect that they found in their yard, and either walk in, email, phone call, and we'll help them figure out what it is.
And you actually have people that man this office. You're one of them, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Yeah. And so if people give me a couple of ideas. Like if I have a plant, do I bring in the dead part of the plant, the disease part of it? What is it that really helps you identify the problem?
The best thing to do would be to bring in a part of the plant that has an issue, but then also a healthy part of the plant so that we can see what the plant should look like, and it helps us with diagnosis.
Certainly. I would think it would help you IDing the plant too, because if you bring in a dead limb of a tree,
we can't tell what it is. Right.
You got to be really skilled to figure that out,
Exactly,
don't you?
Exactly.
And so we actually have some of the things that are brought in here, and I'm now going to chat with you, Karen.
Okay.
Let's just start right from the beginning. And
Okay.
tell me, this looks familiar to me as some kind of disease I see too. Tell me about it.
Yes, this is the Azalea Lace Bug. This is a symptom of what that would look like. And you'll notice this is not an azalea. This is a rhododendron. And we are starting to have this problem with rhododendrons in this area too. So this is a very common problem. A lot of people are coming in now with this type of sample or emailing us a picture. And if you have a really good picture, and you email this, we can probably diagnose it that way, or we'll ask for a better picture or a sample.
I remember, Karen, when iPhones first came out, we were all thrilled because customers
Yes.
were actually bringing pictures in, but now we need more clarity.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
yes. Sometimes we get a really good picture, but we're really good at very politely asking for a better picture or to please just bring us in a sample.
So if somebody brought this into you, what would you say to them about this?
Well, we would first we would make sure that we understood exactly what the problem is.
Sure.
This one we're pretty familiar with.
Yeah.
And then we would provide the information that's available to us through WSU primarily.
Yeah.
We provide
'Cause
research-based.
It's not like you guys just sit around and Google the answers. You actually base this on some real
on
science.
some real research, yeah. So we will look at local university
Sure.
answers primarily, and if we can't find it there, we'll look across the country at other
Certainly.
universities that
Well,
would provide research-based answers.
Let's go to this next thing. Of course, this is apples. Both Washington and Oregon love our apples.
Right.
And this we see a lot too. Tell us about
Yes,
it.
this is apple scab. This is a very common problem that comes in now, actually all through the summer and
Yeah.
into the fall. And so apple scab is a fungal disease, and it's very common in this area. And generally our best answer to people is, if you possibly can, plant a scab-resistant variety.
Yeah, sure,
because this
certainly.
requires a lot of spraying to solve apple scab.
Yeah, I remember how years ago a friend told me that just because there's a scab on an apple doesn't mean you can't still eat it and cut it off. Cut the scab
Exactly,
off.
but it will eventually damage the
Yeah,
tree.
yeah.
And this one is a problem that doesn't normally come into us until it's way too late. This is just a sample of apples that should be thinned out.
Oh, certainly, yes.
So this should be thinned out to just one apple per, like, your fist.
Yeah.
So, but generally people don't do that, and then they come in later and say, why are my apples too small?
Yeah, yeah.
It's because they didn't thin them.
Now, we have some baggies here.
Yes,
Tell
a
me
lot
about
of
this
people
little
bring
thing.
us, and we do, if you have an insect issue, we do appreciate getting it in a bag so that we don't spread it all
That's
around
right.
the county. But this one is two things. Often we'll get the leaf miner,
Yep.
and really the answer for this is there's not much you can do about it.
And you know, explain that why, because I know why you can't really spray this, but tell people the difficulty of spraying a leaf miner.
Well, it's in the leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't,
kind
the
of
spray
protected.
does not reach it, yes. And with a lot of problems, you know, if you just had it on one leaf, pick the leaf off
Certainly.
and discard it.
Yeah.
But a lot of problems, if you have a healthy plant, it can withstand a little bit of damage. And so not everything has to be sprayed.
Well, and I like that you said that, because really a healthy garden is the most vigorous way to keep disease and pests down.
Yes.
Now, what
and
is this one here?
This one, we get a lot of calls, and they just can actually describe this one. But a lot of people get freaked out by this little, well, it's a spittle bug, and that describes exactly what it looks like. It looks like a little ball of spit. And this will do no damage to the plant. It looks a little gross for a while, but then it just kind of goes away. Or if you really don't like it, you can just spray it off with some water. And then a lot of times, if you have a healthy bird population, they'll come and eat that little spittle bug.
That's true too, yeah.
Yeah,
That is very true.
Yeah, and so it'll feed the birds.
And then this is another one that we face a lot here.
Yes, right now people are going to be seeing this. This is peach leaf curl. And that, I should have, I didn't follow my own advice. I didn't bring a healthy peach leaf. But this is, ooh, and it's got earwigs. 2 problems in one. But the earwigs are an after effect. The leaf curled up, so it was a convenient place for the earwigs to go hide out. Again, this is a lot of spraying, and we would recommend that you just put in a variety of peach that is resistant to peach leaf curl. One of those is frost.
Yeah, well, and we are lucky enough now at this time period of our history to actually have great plants that are much more disease resistant.
Yeah. And other than that, you can just pick off, if you have a few diseased leaves, pick them off, get them out of your orchard, your garden, and
now this
the
last one's
problem's
a big one here, isn't it?
It is. This is a rhododendron leaf. And you can see it doesn't quite look right. The edges are all nibbled, and we will get this quite a bit too.
Yeah.
And what's doing this? And they'll look on their bush. They can't see an insect.
Right.
You know, who's doing this? These are root weevils, and they live in the ground, and they come out at night. And that's why you never see them unless you go out at night with a flashlight.
And how do you take care of them?
The easiest way I recommend is to put nematodes into your soil, and they will eat the root weevil larvae. Generally, you do that in the fall. But they're not really going to kill your plant. Just live with the damage this summer. Do the root weevil, do the nematodes in the fall, and that solves a lot of the problem. Or you can put tanglefoot
around,
sticky stuff around the base of the rhododendron, and the root weevils will get stuck on it.
So now, Becca, this is a really great example of one of those times where somebody brings something in and it's not quite enough. It's just the dead part, so you have to start to identify before you even begin to identify the problem.
Correct. So ideally, the client would have brought in a live sample along with this sample so that we could identify what type of tree this is. We can look at it and be pretty certain that it is Verticillium wilt, but we would have to ask further questions of the client if they know the variety of the tree or any further pictures that they have of the tree so that we can identify 100%.
And at least you can narrow it down, though.
Correct. And so then we would be on the road to helping them
certainly
determine what to do.
Well, you know, this is just a brief example of the work that these good people do here, and a brief example of the different diseases and pests that can invade a garden. So, you know, for more information on how you can get help, you can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to the website. Thank you so much, Karen and Becca. It was really delightful.
Thank you.